So tell me your name, how old you are, and where are you from?
I'm Virna. I'm from Italy. I was born in Florence, and I'm 55 in September.
And what do you do?
I'm a makeup artist.
For? What do you?
I do all kind of, work from e-commerce, commercial work to. I collaborate with some artists in the Lower East Side and some short movies I worked on. So I keep my mind open.
Good. So, what's one of the biggest challenges that you have experienced in your life in general, whether it's work or life, you can choose, and how did you deal with it?
Well, my biggest challenge was with myself, and to find a way to bring out who I really was and have people see me as who I really was. I was successful after a while, after a few years, but that was, I think, the hardest part. Yeah.
What helped?
Being stubborn and don't give up. And I think I'm really lucky. I have a very, very loyal and helpful group of friends that really supported me through my life. So that's very important for me.
How do you shut down your inner critic?
Rarely. I'm the worst. Yeah, I don't have any mercy with myself. I was talking with my shrink, and she told me, you need to stop. You are too rigid, and you don't have any mercy for your own, mistakes and stuff. So I think I'm my own worst enemy on that part.
And what's some of the things that you try to do to, to shut it down, to stop it?
That's a hard question. What do I do? I try to. My focus in the last few years is being in relating with animals, which sounds weird, but it's true. Because I think animals, they are not judgmental. They're very, their instinct is either they like you or they don't like you. And it's very unconditional, the love that they show to you. And then sometimes it helps me to be seen without any kind of layer. I don't know how to explain. Like they see the spirit, they see the energy, they feel it, but they don't care the way I look, if I'm old, if I'm fat, if I'm, anything. So that's a good part.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is the part on you, your physical part that you love the most about yourself?
Oh my God. Physical part? Maybe my eyes. Yeah, my eyes.
And what is the part of your personality that you love the most?
I love somebody say that I'm cynic. I think it's just a kind of sense of humor. I think the sense of humor. I think. I don't take myself serious.
You don't take yourself?
No. It's not worth it.
What's the most important thing for you as far as a friend? For a friend, what do you...
Trust. The trust and again, the unconditional support and love. Yeah, that's the most important thing. I have friends over more than 30 years.
What advice do you give, the 16-year-old, 18-year-old Virna, knowing what you know now? What advice do you have for her?
Oh yeah, to stop being concerned about other people's expectations and what they think about you. Because for the longest time I was so focused on being good at everything, don't make mistakes, and be show always that I have value. It's you don't need to show other people. You have to show yourself and be proud of who you are, no matter what. making mistakes is good. It's good, actually.
That was actually my question. My next question is making mistakes a good thing, and why?
It's very important. I think in life you have to try, you have to do things, you have to follow your dreams or whatever it's your interest in that time. You know, even in relationship, you have to give it a try. If you fail, too bad. You know, there's gonna be another option, another opportunity in front of you, but don't be too severe with yourself. You know, and you always learn from your mistake most of the time. They're painful at the time. You know.
Yeah. Do you give a fuck about what people think of you?
No, zero. It's like that's the best part of this age, that you don't even realize it. It comes with the experience, I guess, and you realize how really you don't care. And it's everything, it gets lighter and more interesting and fun. Yeah. Freedom. You feel much more freedom.
Nice. How does sex and relationships change as you age?
It's horrible. Oh.
It's horrible.
Well, I gave up on relationship, and not give up, but I think I'm okay of what I experienced sexually and with relationships. I think I really enjoy living my life and focusing on myself, and I think I have a personality that maybe it's not able to deal with the distraction of having a person 24 hours with me.
Do you miss like, you know, affection, like, you know, a cuddle, a touch, a kiss?
At times I miss it, but again, like, I get so much love from the animals that I'm caring for, that it's just, my cat is like my lover. Yeah.
What's your lover's name?
Circe.
Huh?
Circe.
Circe.
Yeah. She's a rescue cat.
Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the most important thing for you right now?
For me right now is to be able to create like a quiet future for my retirement. Like, I needed like to find a place and the kind of life that allows me to just enjoy the now without thinking about, you know, to worry about paying the bills or be successful, or, you know, having to respond to emails or, you know, requests.
So quality of, am I hearing like you want a better quality of life?
Yeah, I'm more, now it sounds like so wise, but like a more spiritual life. Less, yeah.
Nice. So how do you enjoy life while working, or like trying to achieve, you know, professional?
I'm always being a good dreamer, so I'm very good at dreaming. So most of the time I just let my mind and my thoughts go, and that helps me. And sometimes when even if I do like something stupid or like that has no meaning, that helps, you know.
What are some of the things that you love doing, like that bring you joy?
Sometimes are like very little. I mean, sometimes it's enough. Let's talk about work. It's like if I go to work and I see the person that I'm doing hair and makeup, that she's happy and she feels good about it, that's enough for that day for me to feel good. That's already an achievement of the day. Yeah.
What about connecting with people? Is that important?
It's very important, but it's very difficult, especially now. Like for me, that I'm not like a media person, I have a hard time to connect with in general with people because they are so like wired into the social media and all those, the artificial intelligence. Still, I cannot grasp my head around, but so it's a little hard. But I have good friends and some people that I can talk about other things that it's not related to social media or the web or what do you say,
online.
Yeah, like a virtual reality,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever settled?
Unfortunately not. No, I don't know if it's good or bad. But now, actually no, through my life I always put myself in situations that force me to change, to move on, or to reinvent myself. Sometimes because of outside events, sometimes it was just a need. But yeah, maybe now I'm close to it. Yeah.
To settling?
At 55, finally I found peace. I know what I want. Or don't want, maybe.
Yeah. Well, you're not settling though. Like settling meaning like you kind of like accept something even if you don't want it. Like
yeah. Like all the part of myself that I never liked, and I try so hard for the longest time to change. It was not worth it. Maybe it's okay. It's part of me. So
how do we? There's a lot of things that are happening in the government as far as women are concerned. How do we try to make positive changes in that, in how women are perceived? And
personally, I think it needs to come from the women. Women needs to change their mindset and start putting a stop all this input that you have to look in a certain way, you have to act in a certain way, you have to behave, and your career is supposed to be in a certain way. There's not the right or wrong, and you have to be yourself, and you have to stand for your rights without being angry though. Because I think getting angry just escalate the violence. But yes, I think women, they need to change their own sense of self. That I don't think it's quite there yet, unfortunately.
But then how do you deal, because I know that if I were a woman, I would be furious and I would be angry and maybe even violent when the Roe versus Wade, they overturned that with the Supreme Court. Like, how do you deal with stuff like that?
For me personally, it was really hard to deal with it. But then I realized that around me, there was not that much outrage. And it surprised me. Because when I was young, something like that, especially I remember in Italy when we had the same issues with abortion, with the divorce, for example, people were like storming down the streets and women were like loud with their voice. They are not just much right now. I don't know why, but it seems even the Me Too movement just fade away. And I don't know, I don't have really an answer to that. It's just pretty sad for me to see this kind of involution, in society. But everything happened like there was, even during the Pride, everything went by so quietly and smoothly. Nobody really did a serious protest, and I was like, really? I guess, people are distracted. I don't know. They are like.
Is it because we're complacent? Because everybody's comfortable? Everybody has some food on the table. Everybody has a job. Like.
I think so. It's like when people tells me like, oh, don't worry. You live in New York. We are safe here. I'm like, yeah, but what about the person that lives in the next state, that she cannot get an abortion and she has no money, and should I just ignore because I'm okay here in New York? To me it's weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me feel comfortable.
Do you think it has anything to do with the political system that we're, like capitalism and corporate America, and like
There's always been that kind of, social division between the rich and the poor, the working class. But I think a big issue is social media and how people are brainwashed day by day, and they believe everything they see, and they think that being an activist is to do a video, to make a video, or to write something on Facebook. I don't think that's gonna change anything. Actually, they are using that against us.
Yeah. What is the one thing that makes you happy in life?
To be still alive. No, it's true. Because I've been through like so many years. I lost so many people along the way. So for me, it's just a blast to be still alive and healthy.
And how do you avoid having many regrets? Like, how do you avoid?
I had moments in my life that I did crazy stuff, but I don't have regrets. I think.
And how do you achieve that? How do you achieve not having regrets?
For me, it was all about experiencing life. Even if I knew that was wrong what I was doing, I needed to try it. Obviously you have not to risk your own life or hurt anybody, but as long as it's just a life experience, I think you should do it if you feel like, and then you can decide, okay, no, it doesn't work for me, or yes, it's what I want to do.
Yeah.
No, I don't live about regrets. No.
We spoke earlier about this, and I don't think it's only for trans, within the trans community, but like this idea that beauty is the important thing. Can you talk a little about that?
No, it's not just about beauty, just about this. The body, it's equal of who you are, and that's not the thing. Like for me, it's always being like aligning my mind with my soul and my feelings and everything, and then my body was an expression of who I really am. But it's not, it doesn't define me. If I'm beautiful, if I'm old, if I'm fat, if I'm thin, that doesn't matter. If I'm black or white, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter, but it does, unfortunately. And I think from what I see, even most of the people in my community, they got entangled in the kind of social pressure, so you have to look good, and that's enough to be representative of a community of trans people. I don't think it's right.
Instead of talking about who is Virna,
that we are human beings and we are people that feels, that works, that we have skills. We can do other than be a sugar or being like a beautiful model.
Yeah.
There's people that are teachers, they are like doctors, they are lawyers, they are like, they drive the bus. I would like to hear those stories, to see those stories.
Yeah. Anything else? When did you feel most sexually free in your life?
Oh God. Sexually? Oh, I don't remember, it was so long ago. No, I think I was in my 40s. In my 40s, yeah.
And what brought that? Like, what was different in your 40s?
Because I was totally comfortable with my body and I knew what I wanted sexually, so yeah. And I didn't have any kind of compromises. It's like